Hello, everybody. Hey, y'all. How you doing? All right. Impromptu live. Wasn't planning on going live, but listen, I'm here. And so I hope you're here. We're going to be here together. Amen. All right. So I wanted to talk very quickly about savings challenges. Earlier this morning, I went on TikTok and I was sharing with TikTok about savings. I feel frozen. I'm looking frozen. I feel, I'm unfroze. Very good. So I was talking with TikTok about savings. And so I thought, hey, because I can't figure out how to link my TikTok on this thing right quick. So I had to do it separate. I'd love to do it all together at one time. But we're going to do some savings. And I have a video that is actually going viral over on, hey, ma'am, how are you, Miss Kathy? Hey, Honey Child, 1213, Shelly Small, Connie Lopez. Hey, everybody. Hey, Eve. Hey, Kim. Hey, welcome home with Tracy. Hey, everybody. Good to see you guys. Okay. So I have a reel that's going viral over on Facebook right now. And it's one of those things, right? No, we can hear you. You can hear. Oh, very good. I was frozen on my screen, but very good. Okay. Y'all, I'm looking at myself, looking at y'all, and my faces are crazy. Y'all pray for me. Pray in 2025 that the Lord would do a new thing. Hey, everybody. Good to see y'all. Thank you for joining me. So I had not planned to go live, but then I was like, well, if it's doing so well on one platform, let me go and check to see if I could help it go, help it do better on Happy New Year. Help it go get more traction on the different platforms. And then I thought, well, hey, it's going viral in the Reels section, but maybe people haven't seen, hey, Tiff, people haven't seen the video. So I did want to share just kind of what I'm doing for 2024 as far as savings challenges are concerned. I wanted to invite anybody that wanted to jump on this savings bandwagon to kind of jump on, because there is a benefit in having extra money put to the side for emergencies. There's extra benefit to not having the weight or the pressure of debt or interest payments. Hey, Kim. Hey, everybody. Good to see y'all. So I just thought I would kind of break down for you guys a little bit about what I'm going to be doing. Hey, now, Happy New Year, everybody. Good to see you guys. First cup of coffee for the day. Also, 75 Medium has started, and I've already done my workout for the day. I did a 20-minute strength train, 22 minutes on the recumbent bike, and 3.5 minutes on a stair stepper for a total of 45.5 minutes. Yes, I did. Yes, and amen. Typically, my strength training video was a lot longer, but she's starting a new series on the 6th. Hey, Miss Robin. Hey, Bev. Good to see you. So, she just did a short one today, which is fine. I made it up. I made up all of that counts for my 45 minutes workout because I was in the gym the whole time. Very good. So I did do that. I got my reading done, all that. Now let's talk a little bit about savings. So for new folks, just as a recap, about 15 years ago, I was married at the time, found myself going through a divorce, and he left me with all the debt. And I was like, you know what? My name is on this. I need to be faithful. I need to pay this debt off. And I committed to doing the cash envelope system for the next 15 years. My children and I became 100% debt-free in 2019. We had a small minor little bill that came up in 2020, or was it 2019? I can't remember. But Alana had to have an ultrasound. And that was like $500 and some. So I paid all that off. And then we have been debt free since. I've purchased a car. We did have to get a small loan for the car, but I purchased off $12,700 or $800, something of that nature, in 63 days for my car. Her name is Blessing. And then my daughter just last year in 2024 purchased her car, $11,000 cash, without having a payment. So we don't have car payments. I don't have any consumer debt. I don't have credit card debt. The only thing I have that I have to pay for is my home. And every month I'm paying extra. Just my home is the only thing I have. And I'm paying extra towards my principal. So I'm not carrying a mortgage for 30 years. So every month I pay a little bit something extra towards my principal, so I'm not carrying a 30-year mortgage. It is not God's plan for me. It is not my plan for me. And his plans are better than mine. So I'm not planning on it. But I got to the point where we had done with the debt. I have sinking funds. I think I have probably between 13 and 17, 18, 20 sinking funds, which is a save ahead savings plan for bills that are coming up due. We have that already set aside. And when it does come due, then I just take the money out of the savings account and I pay it up. So I'm not looking to borrow money from anywhere. And sometimes that's where we find ourselves, especially those of us that carry debt. Now, there is not any condemnation about that. I've had debt before. Others have debt now. It is what it is. But I wanted to get to a place where my children understood and were able to live in the reality. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I wanted to get to a place where my children were able to understand and were able to live in the reality of what debt freedom looked like. I never wanted my kids to see me stressing out about money, because if they see me stressing out about money, if they see me poorly spending, if they see me taking out credit cards, if they see me going and buying cars that I can't afford with payments I can't make, then they're going to do the same things. The likelihood that they would repeat my cycle would be the same. Now, for my family, my mother didn't have anything. My mother had nothing. When she passed, she had nothing. We were praying, hoping on a wing and a prayer that we had enough money to put her away. If you from old country people, you know that's what they say. We got to put her away. So we ended up doing a cremation because we did not have enough to do a burial plot and all that other stuff. But we did what we did. Praise God. So with that being said, I decided, yes, I'm debt free, but now I need to work the additional baby steps. So I did the baby steps. Baby step number 1, save $1,000. Baby step number 2, pay off all consumer debt. Baby step number 3 has really gotten me over the last 14, 15 years, because it's just been it's not been hard, but my heart is to people. And so sometimes I've done way more and I've not saved up as much as I needed to. I've probably had that money 3 or 4 different times, but I've seen a need, heard a need or whatever, and I've just given and it's been fine. Baby step number 3 is to save between 3 and 6 months of your expenses on the in case that there's an emergency, loss of a spouse, adoption of a child, a medical emergency, loss of a job, loss of employment, something like that. So you're not calling your friends, asking them, hey, can you spot me, loan me, help me, right? So you're saving up 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in a single savings plan, where you're able to then, if something were to happen, something go awry, you can now pay your expenses at minimum. So for me to pay my expenses for 3 months is closer to about, I would say between $9,000 and $15,000. Well, $9,000 and $18,000 is really about 3 to 6 months. Probably a little bit more, closer to $20,000 would be 6 months worth. I haven't saved that. I planned to save $15,000 last year. I didn't save that. I started well. I started very well. And then my son, Jackson, who's has suffered with asthma his whole life, God is healing him. We are believing God to heal him. Ended up catching the flu. Some of them little sick kids, people sending your kids to school sick, leave them children home. You don't leave them, let them go when they ain't sick, but you send them when they're sick. The devil is a lie. So he ended up going to school, catching the flu. Jackson was sick. He was the sickest he's been in a long time. Went to the doctor a couple times. Then one morning I sent him to school. We thought he was much better. Sent him to school. This was like 7 or 8 days later. We sent him to school. And he called me immediately. He was like, Mom, I don't feel well. He got in the car. He looked ashen. He didn't look good. I was like, oh my God. I called the doctor. She said, Shakema, take him to the emergency room. What do you need, babe? Oh yeah. Sorry. So, hey everybody. Good to see y'all. So we took him. I say we, because I'm always thinking about my husband, right? That the Lord's going to send me. I don't want to be a singleton. There we go. So I took him to the emergency room, And that visit, just the emergency room, we didn't know he had the flu at the time. They did the test, came back positive. They said he has to stay out for another week. Ended up costing me $1,600. So I took all the money out that I had and I paid for that bill because I was not going to carry a bill, right? I'm not going to carry debt if I don't have to. I'm not going to save for the sake of saving when I'm accruing interest on a debt. So what I did was I took that money out in cash, put it in my bank, called up and paid the bill. The lady was like, well, do you want to make a payment plan? No, ma'am, I do not. I want to pay this bill out in full. Now, before our hospital changed leadership, they merged with another company. Usually if you paid your bill in full, you get a 25% discount. They don't do that anymore. So we ended up paying over $1,600 just for that bill. I did reach out and ask Dad if he could help with it. He couldn't help. It was fine. No problem. I just paid it and did all that. So with that being said, I am going right back again this year to save again. Now, I know that everybody's got a savings challenge. You have this notebook and this envelope and these pretty things and this and all that. And I get it. If you have the money to afford the latest and greatest of things, please go get that. But I wanted to make a savings challenge that was simple, that didn't cost a lot of money, because I don't want you to spend money trying to save money, if that makes any sense. I try to be as practical as I can in my approach to a lot of things and a lot of people. I want people to do what they can in order to get your family to the next place. So I came up with, it was Holy Spirit. Trust me, I'm not smart like this. I came up with a way to do the 52-week challenge. So there are 52 weeks in a year, 365 days. Today is January 1st. I put the video out 2 days ago so people would have time so we can start on the 1st. Remember what I said last night? If you caught me last night, we walking up into 2025 like we own this thing, okay? We're not waiting. We are owning it now. And you still have time because it's only 3:30, 3:27, 3:30. Okay, you got time. So I came up with a way to do the 52-week challenge. So last year when I did it, I got 52 envelopes. I went right over to the good old $1.25 tree, got me 100 envelopes, and I wrote on, hey, ma'am, I wrote on each envelope the numbers 1 through 52. This year, I said, you know what? Let me grab, well, was that last year or the year before? That was the year before. That was the year before. And the first thing is this. In order for you to save money, you have to name your savings. Why am I saving this money? So when I did it the first time, which was 2 years ago, let me get my days right. That money was being saved so that the kids and I could fly out to California for Shamika's wedding. My daughter got married in California. I have to get 3 people from the East Coast to the West Coast, and I had to save a year in advance for that. So I said my 52-week challenge, which was going to save me $1,378, was going to be for plane tickets. I was saving other money for other stuff. Absolutely. Very good. However you're doing it, as long as you're doing something that's going to benefit you, very good. Very good. So this year I was like, well, what can I do that's different than the envelopes, right? Because I already did the envelopes. I could have done it again. Didn't matter. So I got this little plastic box. I got this from Walmart. Now this box cost me $3 and some change. It was way too much, but it's the only thing they had on that shelf. I had a box here, but I couldn't find it. Didn't find it till Jackson and I were in the garage cleaning the other day. And then finally I was like, oh, there's the box. Well, praise God. But I got this box from Walmart. You don't have to go out and buy anything. Find what you can find. Somebody tagged my video and mentioned me. They said, if you got a big manila envelope, I don't care what you use whatever you have. Look around your space. You got a little box or something already. The other thing, I'm a school teacher. I always have school supplies in this house. So I did, of course, I did go out and buy new ones because I didn't want to use older ones for the purposes of the video, because people be trying to come for you. Look at her cards. They got stains on. Ma'am, Is it your card? I mean, people be trying to come for you. They be doing a lot. So for the purposes of the video, I went out and I bought 100 blank index cards. It cost me 72 cents. That was how much the line ones was 72. These were 72. Then I went to get numbers. The numbers were a little bit more expensive and I didn't have enough numbers. I bought 2 packages, wasn't enough. So I ended up writing in some of the numbers, right? You see that too? I just wrote that right on in. I was like, look, this is what I got. So I have 52 of these index cards that are already filled out. Now you can do 100 if you want to. I figured 52 was easiest for people to think as far as the year is concerned. So every week, one time a week, however you get paid, most people get paid on a Friday. I got paid on Friday. What I'm going to do, if I want to go in order, is I'm going to pull my first card, which is the number 1. This Friday, I'm going to take my $1 bill. I'm going to put this behind my number 1 card. That's already done. Now, you can do a random draw, which is what I did last year. Last year, I just shuffled up my cards. I shuffled them up and I did a random draw every week. It wasn't in order, but you do it the best way you want to do it. Now, if you get paid every week, you're pulling 1 card every week. If you get paid twice a month, you're pulling a card. You're pulling 2 cards every time you get paid. Now, don't forget your 5-week months, because some months have 5 weeks, like January. I get paid once a month. So typically I'm pulling 4 cards for my once a month, but this is a 5-week month. So I'm going to pull 5 cards just to make up my January. If I want to go in order, I'm going to pull the first 5 cards and I will have saved $10 in January if I'm going in order, because 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 all added together. Maybe that's, let me make sure. Nope, it's a little bit more. It's 5, 9, 12, $15. It's $15 if I pull the first 5 cards and I save it that way. So this was just an easy way to be able to save. And if you do all 52 cards, you're going to save $1,378. Now, here's the argument that most people want to say. I don't have enough money to save. Short of me calling you a liar, because I don't want to do that. That would be rude and I don't know your life. I can promise you that most of us go through the drive-through at least once a month. Most of us got to get these wigs split. And honey, you spending $400, $700, $1,800 just on a good hairdo, which I do not understand. We get our nails done. I know when I go get my nails done with this little design situation, it was $40 plus a tip. That's twice what I could put in here. I can do my own nails for a year, right? Every time I go, she's like, your toes too? No, I'm good. I just need my nails done. Because add your toes in, I'm $100 in. Nails and toes added in, I'm $100 in. So there's money. If I go and pull through and get me a coffee, that's $5, $6. If I get me a Dunkin', that's, I don't get that, but I'm just using these examples. But that's $6 or $7 for a couple, for something that's going to be on my hips for the rest of my life. You understand what I'm saying? So there are ways to be able to save. When I first started saving money, or when I first started getting out of debt, I was using my grocery money. Well, how do you use grocery money, Shakema? Well, today is Wednesday, and on Wednesdays, all the sales roll in my area. That means all of the grocery stores are having new sales today. All the sales items start today. So I shop sales. I don't plan my groceries. I don't plan my meals out first and then go shop. I shop, then plan meals, because that way I can save as much money as possible. I was also couponing at the time. So whatever I saved, I don't believe I have a dopamine deficiency if I got to depend on buying coffee. And I just buy it because I want it. Right? What deficiency do you have for buying the stuff you buy? Sir, ma'am, whoever you are, please go somewhere and sit down before you get blocked. People just buy what they want because they want to do it. Okay. Do not get pulled in, Shakema. Do not get sucked into the drama of comments on YouTube. Okay. So there are ways to save is what I'm saying. So I would shop, I would use my coupons and whatever I had left over. You may not even use this system, right? Here's what I would say. Take your grocery money. I shop every week. I don't shop once a month. You don't capitalize on all the savings if you shop once a month because the savings roll every single week. So take your grocery budget, whatever that is. Shop your sales on purpose, and whatever you have left over after each weekly shop, put that in a savings container, right? It doesn't have to be this challenge. It can be any challenge that's going to help you save money. So that's one challenge that I'm doing. Yes, I know there's an E on challenge, but I couldn't fit it in there because there's not enough space. Okay, so that's one challenge that I'm doing. The second challenge that I'm doing, hey, Miss Sue, good to see you. Very glad you're here, is called the Black Queen Savings Challenge. Now, if you're following me on Instagram, I believe it's on Instagram, in my bio, there's a link for these envelopes. But let me just say this. She has gotten a ton of new envelopes in her shop, in her Etsy shop. I get these from an Etsy shop called Conversation. So if you go to Etsy, Conversation is the shop. You can use my code, which is my name, Shakema. That should still work to get you a discount. I'm not promising you, but try it, right? If you hit the link in my bio on Instagram, Happy New Year, ma'am. If you hit the link in my bio, for sure, it's when I click on it, it says the discount has been applied, right? So when you check out, it should be applied. If you're interested, but she's gotten a ton more designs and a ton of different savings challenges. One of the things for me is to not tax people over what they can already do. And so because I already have these envelopes, I'm not going to buy more envelopes to save money because I'm trying to save money. I'm not going to spend money on new envelopes trying to save money. I'm just going to use what I got. These are still good. The binding's good. Nothing's torn up. So I'm going to use what I have. Now, this is called the Black Queen Savings Challenge. She has, again, a ton of them. She's got Black King. She's got seasoned ladies, like, gray-haired ladies. She has all kinds of new. Let me see if I can pull up her shop. Hold on. I want y'all to see some of her new stuff. So let me see if I can pull up her shop. And I'm not getting paid for any of this at all. But I know this is where I got my stuff from. So I'm not getting anything back from sharing this with you. I'm just sharing it. So I know that some people are always pretty interested in what she has to offer. So let me see. Okay, I'm going to share my screen so that you're able to see, in case you're interested, because some people are interested in these envelopes. And if you are, I want you to be able to see what she has. Okay, so here is her shop. She's Conversation. And she tells you right here, please pay attention to this. Smooth shipping, speedy replies, rave reviews. She has a 4.8 or higher on her reviews. If you need to chat with her, send her a chat contact. She will chat you right back. No problem. So this is the set that I have. I have the Black Queen collection. And in this collection, there are, let me see if she has them. Okay. So this is what they look like. This is the set inside of the binder. And it's a $5, $10, $20, $50, and $100 envelopes in the A6 size, right? So mine are A6. I have the 6 holes. And she tells you how she cuts them. She does extra this, extra that. So all of that is available, right? And then she tells you all those additional details. So let me see. Let me go back to the home page and see if I can find some of her savings challenges, some of the newer ones. Let me see if I can pull it up under savings. Let me go back. Back. I don't want any of that. Okay. Why, friend? Why? Why won't this let me be great right now? Okay, let me go back to see. Oh, here we go. Never mind. All right, so I'm back on my regular page now. What else does she have? She has a self-care savings challenge. She's got a girls trip challenge. You could do the girls trip if you wanted to save for that, right? So she's got, it'll tell you how much you have to save to go on the girls trip. We actually taken a girls trip this year. She has, what else is in here? This is a 10-piece savings set. Let's see what this one is. See what else is along in here. These are how cute the little envelopes look. I just like what I have. She's got some that are for your younger children, if they wanted to save, right? She's got different little savings amounts for those. If you have some younger children that want to save, I'm trying to find the ones. Oh, here's some cute ones. She has a 12-month different challenge. So this is saved, December is saved $12 each time. I think in January it saved $1. February it saves $2 every week. So she has the cutest designs for her challenges. And so again, if you're interested in these and they change, so this one looks like for every month, whatever number of that month is. So like September, you're saving $9 every week for 60 times, right? So that's another cute one. She had one called the Millionaire. This one is cute too. It's the same challenge, just different picks, just different ladies than the ones I have, right? So anywho, that's just a thought process on how you can, just on that challenge if you're interested in it. You don't have to be interested. Again, I'm not one of those willing to go out and spend extra money when I already have something that can work for me. And so because this works for me, I use it. So I have the $5 challenge. I have the $10 challenge. I have the $20, the $50, and the $100. Now, each one of these envelopes has on the back, there are 60 bubbles, right? And then what you do is every time you put one of the denominations, this is the $100 one. Every time you put one of those in your envelopes, see, you cross off. And then once you get to 60, I will have saved $6,000 just in this one envelope, right? You don't have to do them all. You can do it however works best for you. So if I do the $5 challenge, I'm going to save $300. If I do the $10 challenge, I'm saving $600. If I do the $20 challenge, I'm saving $1,200. And I have done this one. I did this one last year to help my daughter with her car. I gave her $1,200. She spent the rest of the majority of the money. Her dad sent a little bit. She put some in, and we were able to get that car in cash. If I do the $50 one, which I am doing this one, this is going to save me $3,000 after I do all 50. And then this one, which is the $100 challenge, is going to save me $6,000. So my goal for this challenge is to do these two, the 50 and the 100. That's going to save me $9,000. That is in addition to the savings box, right? Because I don't have debt. I can save. I can afford to save a little bit more. I cannot be an Amazonian, and I'm perfectly good with that. Here's a way that I'm going to get some extra money that I didn't even remember about until earlier when I got a reminder. So The first of the year, it's time for me to go and get my mammogram. And because I have a certain amount of a certain insurance, it's like a supplemental insurance to my insurance. When I go and do what's called a preventative test, they will send me a check for taking precautions, right? I have a cancer policy. I have a medical bridge policy. I have another policy. There's 3 different ones. I can't remember what all of them are right now. But if I go and get blood work done, or if I get my mammogram or my yearly, if I get those things done and I submit it, because I go on Thursday and I submit it, I should get within 2 to 3 days $250 to my account, because I have 3 different policies. And it may be a little bit more than that, but that's my wellness benefit. I get 125, and then I think I get 50 more. So it'll be like $350. Now, I didn't count on any of that money, so I'm not going to just randomly spend. I am going to tithe off of it. I'm going to give an offering, and then I'm going to take that money and put it immediately into my savings envelope, because it's, to me, free money. I didn't have to do anything for it. So if you have those supplemental insurance things, check to see if you get what's called your wellness benefit, because that is a way to save as well. Now, those are a couple challenges. Alana is doing, she said she's going to do the $20 challenge again, but she's doubling it. She's doing the 40. She didn't want to do the 50. She didn't think she could quite swing that one, but she's going to do 40. I'm probably going to encourage her to do 50, but whatever. And then, well, what is she saving for? So Alana is saving to move out. Our plan for her is when she moves out, that she's not renting a home, but she has enough saved for a down payment on a home, whether that's a townhouse, a tiny house, a full house, whatever she wants. But I'm trying to teach principle. You save your money now, stay here with me as long as you can. And then when she's ready to move out at 22 years old, she's putting her down payment on a house. Mama didn't have to do it. Daddy didn't have to do it. She didn't have to have a man to do it. Not that a man wouldn't be helpful, but she didn't need somebody else to help her because she was able to stay at home. I saw this on, I believe it was TikTok, and I thought it was so good. For those of us parents who can, this is not everybody, and I'm not trying to put off things on other people. So please don't hear that, because that's not what I'm doing. But I've heard a parent say, which I totally agree, if you charge your kids, instead of charging your kid $500 a month to stay with you, and even if you do, right, take that money, put it in an account for them. By the time they're ready to move out, because I don't need my children to help me pay my bills. We have bills. It's straight with my regular job. What I make in social media, that's for other things. My bills are paid with my regular job. Child support doesn't pay my bills. I pay the bills, right? But if I say to Alana, you need to give me $500 a month to live here, that's $6,000. If she gave me $6,000, gave me $500 a month for the next 2 years, that would be $12,000. If I put that in a high interest yield savings account, that's going to draw interest for her, because I'm not going to use her money. Then by the time she moves out, I can gift her back that money. She was responsible. She paid it. She gave it to me. She didn't have no problems with it. She thought I was paying the bills or whatever the case is. But I wanted to get to a point in my life where I didn't have to rely on my children. Now, here is what I'm saying. If that's where you are, no problem. My mother needed me to help. She needed me to help. I don't need my children to help. Not at this current stage of life. There was a time when around Christmas, my older children would help me do for the little kids. Now, because we've gotten debt-free, I'm debt-free. My children are debt-free. I wanted to be able to teach generational wealth instead of generational curses, right? Debt and all that. Now, we're not at building wealth yet, but we are moving towards it according to the baby steps. And baby step number 7 is building wealth. No, baby step 7 is giving. Baby step number 5 is building wealth. So I am moving towards building wealth. I do have 401k. I got all of that. So I'm moving in the right direction, but I wanted my children to be able to pick up what I was laying down and be able to be sufficient on their own. Does that make sense what I'm saying? I hope it does. Okay. The last thing I wanted to share was this envelope, right? So this is this binder was 100 envelope savings challenge. Again, I'm not making any money from anywhere. These are just things that I'm doing for myself. How this works is you get 100 bubbles. There's 100 bubbles on here. And if you cross them all off, you're going to save $5,050. So every time you pick one of your bubbles and you stuff that much money in them, you're going to add up to $5,050. So I didn't finish it last year. I got some other things just came up and I wasn't focused on it, right? So every single one of these little envelope things has a denomination for numbers on it. And so you just kind of save as you're able. So I got 12 and 11 aren't filled in, but then I filled in some other ones, right? Now, how often do you do that one, Shakema? As often as I have extra money. That's just how often I do it. I don't make it a point that I'm doing 100 in 100 days. If I could have done it 100 in 100 days, I'd have done it twice by now, 3 times, right? But I didn't have that. That wasn't my testimony. So if I do an extra job, again, like I said, I'm going to get my test done. They're going to pay me money for that. If I do that, then that's going to be helpful for me to be able to put some extra aside. If I happen to make extra in social media and I've paid all the bills and all the business bills and all that, and there's extra, I can stuff it there or whatever. But I wanted to make sure that I was sharing what was doable for people. This 100 envelope challenge, you can easily do this over 365 days. This is something to aspire to over the year. People are getting ready to get back income taxes. It is so helpful and beneficial. If you pay what you owe, save a little, and then you can spend. I'm going to tithe off of any money that I get. But for the last several years, I've had to pay taxes. I don't get any, there's no getting it back, right? I've been paying taxes. That's perfectly fine. I save my tax money up. And then whenever I do my taxes with my lady, because I'll be doing them, she'll be getting my stuff probably around February. She'll go ahead and do all my things. I'll pay what I owe. And then if there's anything left out of that account, I will take that money and I'll put it towards the savings. After I pay every bill, if there's anything left, it goes towards the savings. Does that make sense? So if you don't belong to a church or an organization, you can find somebody, whoever you following, right? Let's just say I don't have a church, but I follow Pastor Bluefield in Missouri. I hope that's not a real person, but just say that. I follow his ministry. I glean from his ministry. He teaches me things. I would send money there. I would call it an offering. I would send it there. You just have to ask the Lord, where do you want me to put this? Or is there a certain organization that you feel strongly about that you want to help? Is there a domestic violence, or is there, homeless shelter, whatever? Is there somebody doing something that I can connect to? I'm going to give there. I get money out of my hands. My tithe goes to my local church, but I do offer to other churches. There are 2 other places that I put money in as an offering. So my tithe goes to my home church. Additional monies go to another 2 ministries. So that's how I handle it when you don't specifically have a church. And that's just such is life these days, because some people just do internet church. And if you go on the internet church and that's the church you go to every week, then send your money there. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So anywho, I just wanted to share what I felt like would be helpful, things that people who were like me, not are like me now, because I'm in a different spot, but I started here. I didn't have all the things. I couldn't make it pretty. I couldn't buy all the envelopes. I couldn't do all of that. I just had to figure out what I could do, what I did have, and how I could make it work for myself and my family. And it's worked. My daughter messaged last night. She said, "Mom, So what we doing? This is Shamika. You would have to know Shamika to understand how she talks. So what we doing as a family this year? What we doing? And who's saving? What's our challenge? Because last year at the beginning of the year, I said, hey y'all, well, probably December 31st, I said, hey y'all, if anybody's on board with me, I'm doing a challenge. Shamika jumped on, Alana jumped on, and I actually was saving for Jackson, and I forgot to keep saving for him. I just forgot, because I was saving for me, and Alana was doing hers, and Shamika was doing hers with a couple of friends. Just this savings box alone, here's a thing that I thought about as well, and I shared on TikTok. I see people doing their vision boards together, people doing their prayer boards together. You can get a group of friends together and say, hey, let's put together these savings boxes. Why not save together? Because the truth of the matter is, if you find yourself in a situation where you don't have anything, you go into those friends, you go into those close family members to borrow. So why not get an accountability group where y'all can at least say, hey, we're doing this together. And then that way they know, hey, she is at least working towards it. If something were to happen, they would be more easily to come to your aid if they knew, hey, she's been really working hard and just ran up on a snag some type of a way. So we're going to help her out. So that's one thing that you can do. Don't do this by yourself. Get a group of people. Here I am putting it out on the internet for all types of people to see. And I can tell you that currently, I'm going to go to Facebook, because that's where it was trending on Facebook. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so currently this one video about the savings box now has 114,000 views, right? And I just shared it less than 2 days ago. So tonight would be 48 hours that I shared it. So 114,000 views. It's been shared. It has been shared. And if you see it, would you mind sharing it? It would be helpful for me. This has been shared 277 times. So invite friends. It's been like 2,000 times. Invite friends. Say, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is easy for us. This is something that we can all do together, right? And my kids, we all decided, hey, what you doing? Shamika's doing hers. Sister's doing hers. Mom's doing hers. We let the boys do whatever the boys want to do. If Jackson wants to save, I'll jump in with Jackson. But I put money away for Jackson every week. So Jackson does have a savings account that I put money in when his dad sends child support. So I make sure that there's money for him. I wasn't able to do that with my younger children. With my older children. So now that I have the ability to do it with my younger children, then I just do it now because I am able. So again, those are just some things that I thought would be helpful. Maybe do it with your church, do it with your girls group, do it, you want to take a trip. We want to do a sister trip. A couple of ladies and we're getting together in a couple months, and everybody's just sending in there. But some people have to fly in. So if you got to fly, you got to fly. How many months do I have until the trip? Okay, I'm dividing up that plane ticket, and I'm going to be, Miss Sue said she's doing it again this year. She was able to save last year. Very good. And maybe you don't make the whole total goal, but did you save anything? So those are the questions we ask ourselves. Did I save anything? Was I able to do anything for myself? Or did I just kind of fall on my face? Now, I didn't save much. And ended up having to pay most of it out to something. But I'm right back on it, right? I'm back on it again. Well, Shakema, you failed last year. Doesn't matter. Get back up. A just man fall down, yay, 7 times, but he gets back up. Get right on back up and start over. Today is the first of the year. Make a decision. The last thing I'm going to share, if you're married, would you put like a thumbs up or something? Put something in the comments to let me know that you're married. If you are a married individual, put something in the comments to let me know that you're married. Also, don't forget to like the video, share, and all the things. Okay, here's the thing. If you're married, and even if you're not, okay, we're not leaving out single people. I'm coming back for us single people. Okay. If you're married, there is zero reason why you don't sit down with your spouse today. It should have been done yesterday. You sit down with your spouse today and you say, this is our plan. Babe, can we come up? Don't say, but let's have a conversation. Babe, can we sit down and come up with the plan for our family for 2025? We plan for everything. If I ask some of y'all to open up your calendars, you got all kinds of plans. You planning for this and planning for that and planning for you, planning out. But we never plan for our family. This is where we want to be in 6 months. This is where we want to be in 3 months. This is how much money we want to save. This is where we want to cut back on some. We want to cut back on some expenditures. Listen, your kids cannot be in dance and taekwondo and karate and chopping people and all the things. Honey, they in baseball, softball, all the ball. Every time you turn around, you driving some. You're never gonna save money because you're spending gas going to 15 things. You are in one thing. One thing. Pick your favorite. Pick your favorite. A lot of people put their kids in a lot of activities so they don't have to interact with their spouse. There's women out here who want husbands and wives. If I was, men who want wives. If I was you, I'd spend a lot of time with my spouse. But we get our kids so involved that we have no time for our spouses, and then we can't figure out why our spouses don't have time for us. But that's a whole nother lab. So here's the thing. Sit down and come up with the 2025. For us, it's the Wilson Black Browns. I'm a Wilson. My kids are Black, and my other children are Browns. It's the Wilson Black Browns. That's our family name. Shamika married a Brown. Her brothers and sisters are Blacks, and I'm the Wilson. So here we are. This is our plan for the family. And you sit down and you strategize and you dream together and you come up with the impossible. God can do it. I promise you he can, but he needs us to work in cooperation with him and Holy Spirit. So we're going to sit and plan. We plan for everything else. Same thing with singles. You don't have to have a spouse. It makes it easier sometimes to kind of share the load. But I want to sit down and plan for my family. I want us to be at X amount of Z place in 6 months from now. In 3 months from now, I'm planning to be this place in my weight goal, this place with my kids. I want, we're working on Jackson's college stuff. He has a year and a half before he'll be going to college. We got to plan ACTs, SATs, college tours, how we going to pay for it, all the things. So we're planning ahead so that we're not being reactionary, but we're proactive for all the things. So I'm promising you, if you prioritize, put them kids to bed, sit down with your spouse and say, babe, can we listen? I know we've kind of winged it here for a long time, but where we trying to go, there is no more winging it. Would you sit down with me and let us go over the things, even if they don't want to be involved in the finances? Make sure they know how to get into the bank account. Make sure they know what the passwords are, because none of us ever know if anything would happen. They can't even they can't even pay a bill. Make sure your wife knows how to pay the car insurance. Some women don't know how to do that. I'm watching that little TikTok thing. I can't pay the mortgage. He's like, you don't even know how to pay the mortgage. Please don't let that be your testimony, because something could happen and you need her to step in. You need him to step in. At least make sure we know where all the passwords are. I have another friend on here. She has an entire book written out of everything. Make sure we know where insurance papers are. Make sure we know where birth certificates and all that type of stuff. It might be your responsibility as the one who takes care of it, but at least let your spouse know where things are in case. Does that make sense? Okay, very good. All right, I've been on here long enough. If y'all have questions, let me know in the chat, or if there's something you think that you want me to talk about. I do all women's issues. I do all mommy issues. I do money. I do home management. Let me know and I'll come on and try to do a video about it. But 2025, this is not the year to be playing with nothing. This is the year to take it by the horns, and we're about to do this thing for real, 100% for real. So I want you to be successful. I've gained a modicum of success. The Lord has blessed me. I've not gained any success. God has just favored my life, and I'm thankful for that. And I want you all to be favored as well, because we don't have to be broke together. We can all have means, so that our children will have means, and then we can now start seeing the supernatural blessings generationally, if that makes any sense. All right, y'all, I gotta go. I gotta check to make sure I did all the things for my 75 medium challenge. Water. I'm still working on water. YouTube people, I will be back live at 8 o'clock to do the budget for the year, because we got a budget and I haven't done that video. I will budget live with you guys at 8 o'clock. That's only going to be on YouTube. So if you're not on YouTube, follow me over there, because that's where I'm going to be budgeting. I love y'all. I hope you are well. Happy New Year to everybody. And I will see you guys when I see you guys. Bye now. You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining me.